gamers. What was the first video game you remember playing? I think it must have been King's Quest II on my dad's old DOS machine in the early 90s. From memory, I believe it needed to be installed from 5 floppy disks. It was one of those early adventure games where you'd navigate your character through the world with the arrow keys, but still had to interact with objects via text commands. I'm pretty sure 5-year-old me started to learn how to type by playing that game. Walk up to a cat, type get cat. You have the wizard's despicable pet cat. Now what are you going to do with it? Meanwhile a heavily pixelated cat is writhing in your character's arms trying to throw its pixel paws in every direction. Get fur. Nimbly, you manage to pull out a tuft of fur from the cat. The cat scratches you and leaps away, snarling and screeching. Cool, now you have some cat hair. Except now your wizard master appears right in front of you, sees that you have some cat hair in your inventory which can plausibly be used as an ingredient in a late game spell to escape from him, so he decides this suspicion is a good enough reason for incinerating you into a pile of ash on the spot. Thank you for playing King's Quest II. Better luck next time. By the way, better not save your game after you died, because the game won't stop you from loading into a save file where you're dead. Mario Brothers on the NES. Not Super Mario Brothers, I mean the single screen one where you kill turtles and crabs coming out of pipes at the top of the screen. I played it at the house of my mom's crackhead friend. The guy started screaming and chasing me and my mom around the house about 30 minutes later. Star Wars Battlefront 2005. Such an amazing and timeless game. Spyro the Dragon. Super Mario Bros. /Duck Hunt. It's been a hell of a ride since. Wii Sports. Mario Kart on the SNES. My parents sent my brothers and me on a scavenger hunt around the house after school one day. The end prize was a SNES and a few games. But because they bought it, they insisted we had to let them play first. It was excruciating watching them drive the wrong way 90% of the time. Pac-Man on one of those old joysticks. They revamped some arcade games a decade and a half or so ago and made them into controls you could hook up to your TV at home. We got a lot of them and played them either at my house in my parents' room, only TV that we could connect them to, or at my great-grandparents' house where we played with family. There was also Dig Dug, Frogger, and a bunch of other games. Super Mario Bros. On the NES. I came downstairs when I heard my dad get in from work late at night to find both my parents kneeling on the floor at a foot from the TV. My dad had managed to get hold of an NES from work and the pair of them were struggling to get Mario over a very small gap and apparently thought moving the controller in the air as they hit the buttons would make him jump further. I stood at the door peeking in until they called me in and handed me the controller. I took to it instantly and smashed level after level. I was 5 and my dad loaded up a game for me on the Spectrum 3000, I think. The game involved gathering the pieces of a rocket to fly to the next stage. Rinse and repeat. Cannot remember the name of the game. It was magical. E.T. on the Atari 2600. My cousin is a lot older than me and he had an Atari in his parents' basement, so when we went to visit, they'd let us go downstairs and play it. I remember playing E.T. and having no fucking clue what to do in this stupid ass game. That was my first gaming experience. Minecraft. My parents were really poor, so in my childhood we didn't own many electronics until I graduated and got a good job. I was 20 and I wanted to try out video games just to see what they were like. I found a fairly new game called Minecraft and I bought it, and after a few hours, I was addicted and fell in love with video games after that. I still play Minecraft every day and it's amazing. #1 game in the world. Minesweeper, or the skiing game with the monster that comes out and kills you once you get to a certain point. First paid video game was either Red Alert on PC or Pokemon Blue on the Game Boy Light. For PC, the first real game I ever played was World of Tanks when it was actually good. This was 2013 and I was 15 when I figured out I could download games. Before then I played flash games on sites like Miniclip, Armor Games, Yuda and probably more. For console, I first had a Nintendo 64, which I still have, but I only ever got 3 games for it. Then my parents got me a PS2 for Christmas, not too long after the PS3 came out, and a game for it which was SpongeBob SquarePants, the movie which strangely enough I happened to have watched for the first time about 2 or 3 hours prior.